out in the wilderness are going to come in this one book, many of them. Now, we've already covered some of them in the book of Exodus before this. So, the chapters that you are reading in the Come Follow Me curriculum, being 11 through 14, 20 through 24, we're going to focus a lot there. But we also wanted to pick up a couple of items that fall outside of those chapters, just little quick hitting insights along the way. For instance, if you go back to chapter 2, this is a fascinating chapter that most people would read it and think, there's not a lot here that would be relevant to us. Because what it does is it sets up the camp of Israel. And you'll notice that the camp of Israel is set up on the cardinal directions of a compass, with the tabernacle being at the center of the camp. So they're encamped all around, with the tabernacle being in that middle point. I wonder if there's some symbolism there for us to have this beautiful imagery or this symbolism of the Holy of Holies, the holy place, the outer courtyard, this tabernacle, which is a temple-like symbol for us, to have that be at the center of our life, that we put the Lord first and foremost, and remember to love Him and keep Him in the middle, not out on the fringes. Now, one other insight that comes out from chapter 2 is, I don't know, perhaps these are random assignments, but something tells me that they weren't random, that there's a reason why different tribes were placed in different locations. You'll notice how it starts out in verse 3, on the east side, toward the rising of the sun, shall they of the standard of the camp of Judah pitch throughout their armies. So you have Judah over here on the east. And then, of course, he lists Zebulun and Issachar are also going to be on the east, because you have to have 3, 3, 3, and 3 to get your 12 tribes. And then the Levites are camped around the tabernacle in the middle. So you've got your 13 tribes. So Judah on the east. And then if you turn the page over, you'll notice in verse 18, on the west side shall be the standard of the camp of Ephraim, according to their armies. And then next to Ephraim, you're going to get the two tribes of Manasseh and Benjamin. So it's fascinating to me to look at the potential symbolism. They mentioned at the rising of the sun, everybody's looking to the east. So you'll notice that in the Savior's ministry, most of the teaching and the healing, there are some exceptions, but most of it are for the house of Israel, and specifically for the tribe of Judah. And then he gives the instruction to take the gospel to the other scattered tribes of Israel and also to the whole world eventually. So in that dispensation, everybody's looking to the east, to Judah, to bring the light, the rising of the sun, to bring the light of the gospel and to reveal the glories of the Lord and the gospel. Then you'll notice in the west is the tribe of Ephraim. Fascinating as we now get into the dispensation of the fullness of times, the final dispensation, the seventh, the latter days, when the sun is ready to set. Now the gospel is given to Ephraim and Manasseh largely, and it's their job to now spread the light to all of the tribes of Israel and bring them all in, and to all of the nations of the earth, to bring them to the God who gives us life. Just some potential symbolisms to think about when you read chapter 2.